Coming up next, 4 questions every successful person who wants to get qualified must answer, and then the hottest new perk in the tech industry, some funny work fails on this Friday, and of course, we answer your calls, and it starts right now. All right, folks, welcome to the Ken Coleman Show. We're coming to you live from our Ramsey Solutions studios in Nashville, and you've joined a conversation about your purpose, specifically what you were born to do. You were created to work. You were created to contribute. You know it. You may not know exactly what that contribution looks like, but that's why we're here. The answers lie within you. So we're to help you find your professional purpose, which, by the way, is going to make you purposeful in every other area of your life. Before we dive into the show, I want to just show you, I've got the You Belong in Tech hoodie today, a nod to one of our awesome partners of the Ken Coleman Show, Beltech. They can help you move from non-tech related work into the tech industry with a 9-month online program, and it's less than $15,000. And we have now almost 50 students from the Ken Coleman Show enrolled in Beltech. They've got an incredible placement program, high 70% placement rate. And we're talking about making really good money, $65,000 to $75,000 in year 1, and then with a track to quickly get into 6 figures. So love Beltech, and I thought today, it's a Friday, and I thought Joe wears an Alabama hat. He wears a Still hat. He wears a Titans hat. We're casual around here at Ramsey Solutions, and I thought I'm going to rock the hoodie today. So I don't know if everybody belongs in tech, but many of you do. So check them out, betheltech.net. Tell him Ken sent you. Tell him he was wearing a really awesome hoodie. So there you go. All right, let's get right to this. 4 questions that if you answer these questions, I guarantee you that you'll be successful on the path to purpose. If you are looking to get qualified, which is the ticket, how do I get qualified? Because it's a terrifying proposition for so many people. But these 4 qualifying questions will help you come up with a plan, and it will allow you to successfully get qualified. So let's just break them down briefly. Number 1 is the education question. What do I need to learn? What do I need to learn in order to get qualified, to get the ticket to the dance? This does not have to be a 4-year education. Don't assume it. If a 4-year degree or a higher ed beyond the 4-year degree, graduate level degree, is not the only way or the best way, then don't do it. Certifications, online training, so many different ways to get the education, the learning, the knowledge that you need to get qualified. Now, you got to ask yourself, what's next? It's the education question. So once I know what I've got to learn, this is the knowledge base. Now I say, okay, what experience are they going to want? What experience are they going to want to get the ticket to where I want to go? Because remember this, many times we're going to have to just get in, folks. It's called entry level for a reason. We're entering. We're getting in. Then we move up. And so you've got to understand that many times the very thing you want to do, that you get the basic knowledge for, there's still going to be that experience that you need. So that's the experience question. What do I need to do? Third, the financial question, right? The economic question, if we're going to stick with all E's. And how much is this going to cost me? Once I know what I've got to learn, I've got to ask and look and dive into how much is this going to cost me? And again, this is a big trap for so many people because they assume they need the really sexy sizzle factor brand name education piece when in all reality, it doesn't matter to your long-term success. Do certain educational options have some more luster than others? Of course. But it's not about luster and brand name. It's about the destination and does it get me there? So what is it going to cost me? So now we're going to get the financials and we go, okay, this is my outlay. This is what I'm going to have to save. This is what I'm going to have to spend in order to get there. Okay, so now we lead to the fourth question, the final qualifying question, and that is, how long is this going to take? The expectation question. So once I know what I've got to learn, what I've got to do, how much it's going to cost, how long it's going to take, folks, listen to me. I've got a plan. And absent of those answers to those four questions, it is very intimidating and mystifying, and a lot of people never actually do it. So those four questions, the four qualifying questions, give you the information you need to then build a plan. And let me tell you something. When you know what you got to learn, you know what you got to do, you know how much it's going to cost, and you know how long it's going to take, let me tell you something. You have a great chance of finishing because you can see it. You can see the mountaintop, and you can see the path to get to it. Game changer. We humans are unstoppable when we are focused. And you cannot be focused if you don't know how you're going to get there. But once you know how you're going to get there, what's involved, boom, I can put my head down and I can move forward. So there you go. The four qualifying questions will help anybody get qualified and get that ticket to the dance. 844-747-2577 is the phone number to jump in. 844-747-2577. Let's go to the Motor City, Detroit, Michigan. Megan joins us there. Megan, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. How are you?
Megan, I'm living the dream. What are you doing?
Good. I'm trying to live the dream.
Come on. I love it.
That's why I'm calling you.
Good. What's up today?
I am looking to go to an esthetician course to be able to do microblading and eyelash extensions. I've been doing real estate since I was 18. I'm 35 now.
Okay.
And my husband does not think it's a great idea. He wants me to stay in real estate. And I'm trying to get direction. Like, I'm not passionate about the lashes, but I'm also not passionate about real estate right now either. My biggest passion is taking care of my son, but I also want to bring in an income. And I just don't know if being 35 with a 1.5-year-old, if going back to school is a great idea.
Okay, so a couple things. So, Megan, let's see if you can adjust that phone. You're real muffled. I can hear you, but it's hard. Let's try that.
Okay.
Try it again.
Is this better?
Oh, my gosh. It's like a different person. Fantastic.
Okay, you're on speaker, so.
Oh, well, we don't want that, but we'll stay with it. Okay, so here's the deal. So here's the dilemma. You want to be a stay-at-home mom, but for right now, in this season that you and your husband are in, we need your income. Is that what I'm hearing?
We want my income. It's not needed.
Well, now this is a relationship question. This is not a career question. This all of a sudden became a relationship issue, which, by the way, I'm willing to dive in on this.
Oh, wonderful.
So do you believe your husband, if he was on the phone with us right now, would he agree with your statement that you all don't need your income, you just want your income? Would he agree with that?
He would agree that I want my income. Yes.
Okay, I'm confused. Do you
do
want to work or do you want to stay home with the child?
I want to do both. I want to be a stay-at-home mom, but I'm also just not. I don't feel like I'm fulfilled every day. I feel like nothing got accomplished, and I'm not contributing. And I know being a mom is the greatest contribution, like my legacy is my child.
Yeah,
but it's just not fulfilling me 100%.
Well, that's okay too. That's okay too. But the way you framed it has confused me. So we're gonna have to go back a second. So you said the esthetician role. Versus the real estate role. There's no passion in real estate. You're not fulfilled there either. But your husband likes it because there's those nice spikes in pay, and there's always potential. So that's why he likes it. So you call me and you go, I don't know if I should go to school to be an esthetician, and based on what you've told me, you shouldn't because you're not passionate about that either. Now,
correct.
The assignment is, what work would you love to do? That's what we figure out. And then this is a much simpler conversation. You tell Hubs, hey, I want to be a stay-at-home mom, but I also want more in the professional sector as well. And that's okay too. You shouldn't feel guilty for wanting to do something that's rewarding from a work standpoint. You were created to contribute. I say that every day. So what would you actually like to do? Because I think you know the answer to that. It's not esthetician. Or it
No.
might be something in the beauty space. I don't know. Tell me, what would you like to do? If you didn't have to get qualified, if you didn't have to go to school, and I could just wave my Ken Coleman Show pencil in the air and poof, you get there, what would you do?
I already know, like, I love doing stuff behind a computer. I've done a couple accounting jobs, and a lot, like, people that I've been talking to have kept telling me to go into property management because it's a lot of computer input and,
Okay, what did you
being
do?
behind the scenes.
Okay, then you need to be exploring desk jobs, but you're calling it behind the computer, but project oriented. You need to be exploring all the options that are available to you. And can I just tell you something? There's 100 million. This is a great time for you to get hired. If you've got clerical skills, project management skills, sounds like somebody recommended that to you. You just got to go hang out with some people that are doing that or people that are hiring for that and learn a little bit more about it. But it's not going to school to do women's eyebrows when you said, I want to be essentially on a computer knocking checklist off. Am I right?
Yeah.
All right, then. So let me throw one other wrinkle in here.
Okay.
This is also something you could potentially do from home and be around the kiddo, but also have 4 to 6 hours where, you're knocking stuff out, work remote. I mean, you have so many options right now, it's almost laughable. You just got to go, who's offering these jobs right now? What do I have the basic qualifications? Do I have the connections to get me in? But so no, the answer is no. No to esthetician school. To go get qualified to do something that you don't want to do. It's a waste of time and money.
Okay.
Got it?
All right. Yeah.
Uh-oh. I hear it in your voice. That feels like, oh gosh, Ken's right. Now I gotta go do something else. That's what it sounds like.
No, you're 100% right. I will. Yeah. I just don't like to be told no.
Well, wait a second. I get that. No, nobody does. But what am I saying? Why would you be upset with hearing no to going to spend money and time getting qualified to do something you don't want to do? Why is that?
It's more so like I can do it from home. I can do it between my son's nap times and
Guess
everything.
what?
And
But guess
pick
what?
my own schedule.
But guess what? You can do that other stuff too. You can be a virtual executive assistant. You can do, there are companies that have, that hire that all the time. You can do project management type stuff from home while the kiddo is napping. If you want to be on a computer, now is the time. It's never been a better time. They're looking for remote workers. Go look for that. That's all I'm saying. I still want you to be working from home, and while the kiddo's napping, you're making money. But it's not doing women's eyebrows, because that's not what you want to do. Enough of this discussion. 844-747-2577. Let's go to Whitney in New York City, New York. Whitney, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. Thank you for taking my call. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. What's going on?
So I just took a new job that I'm really excited about, and I'm leaving my current role because my boss is an insane micromanager that leads to us having to work late often. I'm hoping this won't be an issue in my next role, but if it is, how do I handle that?
It's a really good question, because my instinctual response is to say, I'm going to do my homework before I take the next job.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to ask some very pointed questions of the potential leader, and I'm going to find out if they are a control freak. And you can do that by saying, describe your management style.
Okay.
How do you interact with your team? How do you handle training someone and then giving them rope? What's your leadership style? You ask some questions like that, and a true control freak is not going to be able to lie about that. And then I would also find ways to reach out to other people that are on the team, LinkedIn, social media, whatever. There's ways for you to do your homework and find out if a leader is a absolute control freak micromanager. But I'm telling you, you ask the right questions, open-ended questions. So you don't say, are you a micromanager? Of course you're not going to say that.
Right,
but you're going to have to be subtle and asking questions. How do you lead in this situation? And here's what's great about this. You are a recovering, you're recovering from a micromanaging leader. So what you have to do is you've got to say, I know what it looks like. So let me bring up some scenarios that I'm familiar with and where my previous leader was a micromanaging maniac.
Okay.
So that's my instinctive response. Don't take a job
that's perfect.
for somebody that does that. And you've got to find out on the front end whether they're that kind of person. Now, if you have, let's say that for some reason you get into a situation somewhere down the line and you've got a controlling leader, what you've got to do is have the courage, and this is really the word, to sit down with the leader and go, hey, I'm sensing that you have some tension over this and this and this. I want your feedback on this. It's not going to hurt my feelings. Tell me what you're thinking and feeling about this, because I feel like you're coming in and I'm not doing the job you want. Is that true or is that false? That's about the best way you can ask that question. So you're not putting them on the defensive. Say, I'm just feeling this and I don't know if this is a fact or not. So will you give me the facts? I'm just sensing this. And then you get that. And one of the ways you do that is you stay humble and you stay transparent, and you let them kind of walk into the thing where they are controlling, they are a micromanager. They're probably not going to own that and say it right out of the gate. But if they begin to go, oh, I am hovering a little bit, or it feels like I'm hovering, and I say why, and then you address their concerns, that's one way to lead up. Does that make sense?
Yes.
A lot of times, a micromanaging leader has no idea they're doing it. And so I'm going to break this down for 30 more seconds. You've got to have some grace. You've got to have some patience to at least go, are they a jerk or are they afraid? Because there's a big difference. A leader who is scared and a control freak, it's probably because they've got a deep-seated fear. And I want to help my leader voice what they're so afraid of. And if I can help them alleviate their fears, that's the way to end around the control freakiness. Does that make sense?
Yes, 100%. That makes total sense. I think that's what the driving factor here is. Fear.
No question.
Yeah.
Totally.
Okay.
And by the way, maybe even insecurity sometimes.
Okay.
So if it's possible, try to empathy is the play here, and try to see if you can figure a way around it. Appreciate the call, Whitney. You're awesome. Excited about your new opportunity. But again, folks, don't forget this, that the job interview is just as much for you as it is for anybody else. I think we forget that sometimes. And by the way, that's a very natural thing to do. We think, well, I'm going in for a job interview, and so I'm on display. And so they're in there checking me out. Has it occurred to you that you are checking the leader out? You are checking the company out. So don't be afraid to ask pointed questions. I got to tell you something. In our How to Win the Interview guide, we give some sample questions. It's free at kencoleman.com. Go get it. And here's why. There are ways for you to ask really insightful questions in a job interview, and it will make the leader squirm in a good way. Not squirm to where they feel defensive or that you're being a jerk or whatever, but just like, oh my gosh, I've never had to answer that question before. I don't even know what the answer is. Oh boy. Oh boy. Don't miss the value of a really good question. Hey, I want to tell you about our new book, From Paycheck to Purpose, and the Get Clear Career Assessment. Right now, we got a bundle for both. For 2 years, we worked on the Get Clear Career Assessment. You hear me talk every day on the program. The way to get clear, which is stage 1 of the 7 stages to doing what you were born to do, is you've got to be able to self-assess and go introspective on what you do best, your talent, the work you love to do, your passion, and the results that matter deeply to you, your mission. When all 3 of those indicators are in alignment, now you know if it's an on-purpose job. The dream job, you say, Ken, how do you define the dream job? Really simply, I use what I do best to do work I love, to produce results that matter deeply to me. It's the dream. So let's not overthink this. So the assessment helps you assess yourself by asking you pointed questions. We give you a great report that reveals your top 3 talents, top 3 passions, work you love to do, and your primary mission, the results that you most get juiced about producing through your work. And then we fill out that as a purpose statement. That becomes your litmus test, your filter for future decisions. So you can get that for $30 by itself, or $10 with the pre-purchase of the book From Paycheck to Purpose. Throw that up on the screen because that's the guide that gets you up the mountain. The assessment will help you figure out the mountaintop. The book is the guide on the climb. And so you can get that bundle for $30, or you can just get the book itself for $20, and you're going to get the ebook, the audio book read by me, the Get Hired career course, as well as $100 of other amazing free goodies. All the details on what you're getting at kencoleman.com. So go check it out, kencoleman.com, right there in the store. All right, quick break. When we come back, we're going to get to, very interesting new trend that's kind of bubbling up in Silicon Valley. And then, of course, we're going to have some fun on this Friday with some funny work fails. Don't move. This is the Ken Coleman Show.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs.
We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org.
We absolutely believe in it.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show, where we help you move from paycheck to purpose. That is the title of the new book, From Paycheck to Purpose. Is it possible to make the income you desire and the impact? The answer is absolutely yes. All right, for those of you that are now deciding, by the way, 4 million people quit their jobs in July. We don't have the August data yet, but I mean, this great resignation really is a thing. I mean, people are just deciding, hey, I'm going to level up. I'm going to go do something that really matters to me. And yay, yay, yay. We want to help you do the same. And that's why we've got great partnerships. ZipRecruiter is the #1 hiring site in the country. Their technology is amazing. And they're saying the same thing. Now is the time to move. But they know that a lot of people have a barrier for entry as it relates to applying, because it's a lot of resumes you're submitting. It's a lot of nothing back, total crickets, not even no's. So their technology, they match you up. You go on their website, ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. Go there. That's why they can track you. ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. They know you're coming from the show. And within minutes, you got a profile up, and then they begin to match your profile, your resume up with jobs that have been listed with them. And they tell you when a company looks at you, when a company gives you a thumbs up, and when a company asks for your contact info. So you're not in the dark, and companies can contact you directly. And here's the best part of this entire pitch. It's free. It doesn't cost you a dime. So I don't know why you wouldn't add their prowess, their connections to your tool belt. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. All right, it's time. Let's get to it. We'd love to tell you what's going on in the news. Okay, here's a headline from Protocol, the hottest new perk in tech, a week off. Now, some of you are going, that's all that they get is a week off? No, this is not vacation time. This has nothing to do with the vacation benefit. In early May, the founder of Lessonly, which is a company that makes training software, sent out a company-wide email issuing a mandate to all employees. This mandate required that every worker take an entire week off in July. Now, that doesn't mean go work from home. They said nobody's working. Somebody had to be, Joe. I always wonder. I'm like, well, who's keeping all the computers going? I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about, but it just feels like somebody should be checking out on the server room, right? But the bottom line is they said, hey, everybody's taking a week off for mental and emotional health. HubSpot, another Silicon Valley company, introduced what is calling an annual global week of rest. Google CEO Sundar Pichai announced global reset days that take effect later this year. Bumble also instructed its employees to take a collective week off. They've been pushing these folks hard. And so what these companies are trying to do is keep people engaged, give them a chance to reset, make them feel like, oh, you matter. And so let me tell you, the whether you as a small business owner or leader likes this idea or not, I'm not so much espousing the additional week off for everybody. Because I can hear some small business owners going, well, Ken, that's really nice, but we can't do that. So please spare me the nasty emails because I don't read them. But hear what this is. What this really is, whether you do it this way or not, here's what this actually is for leadership. It's a way to say to your team, we see you, we hear you, we care about you. Whether it's a week off or everybody leaves one Friday a month at noon and you guys go to Top Golf one day. The issue here, leaders, that I want to share with you is that this is less about an extra week off. This is more about we want our team to know that we care about them and we're trying to look after them. Now, I think the week off, for if you're pushing people really, really hard and they're going hard and you can make it work, it's your business. Go for it. I'm not going to analyze that and break that down and say all the things that could be wrong with it. At the end of the day, you got to lead your own business. But I think this is really interesting. According to a new research by Gallup, employees who experience burnout are almost 3 times as likely to seek a different job. So obviously it's costly when somebody leaves. Gallup estimates that replacing one worker requires 1/2 to 2 times the employee's salary. Workers who are disengaged are similarly expensive. According to Gallup, they can cost companies up to 18% of a worker's salary in lost productivity. So, is this week of rest actually effective in dealing with this bigger issue? I think that's something that we need to see. Doug Menon is quoted in this article. He's a clinical psychology professor at Columbia. And he said this is more of a short-term solution. But if you're not sleeping and you're working a lot and you're strung out from it, being able to recharge can be helpful. So, again, this is, I would say, it's not a Band-Aid, but I would say it's a nice little therapy session. It's not going to heal this. So companies are still going to have to figure out the bigger issue with burnout and engagement. But a week off, it's like, I hurt my knee really bad. It's going to take 8 to 10 weeks to heal. I'm going to go in for a couple PT sessions to kind of help with the healing. I think that's what this is. It's a good gesture for leaders to be in tune to this, but it is not going to solve everything. So don't do, we're going to do something nice for the team and then go, okay, now get back in the ditch and shovel yourself to oblivion. This is not enough, but it's a nice start. So there you go. 844-747-2577 is the number. All right. We always love to have a little bit of fun on our Friday shows. So let's get to it, Joe. It's time for some work fails. Best sound effect in all of YouTube. I don't care what anybody says. I absolutely love that. There's no way to prove it, but I'm saying it. Okay, so here's what we like to do. So we've got some pictures we're going to put up here. Nathan, the director, is going to put it up here, and we're just going to have some fun with this because these are work fails. Somebody didn't do their best. So here we go. We've got a sign that says violators will be towed, and instead of fined, as in penalized, $50, well, they're going to find $50 somewhere on the car. So I think that's nice. Instead of punishing you, we're going to bless you. And so it's a scavenger hunt. You parked in the wrong area. So instead of penalizing you, we're going to drive you nuts by hiding $50 somewhere. That's what they're saying. Folks, that's basic spell check right there. There's an E missing. Come on. All right, what's next, Nathan? Here comes the next one. Left lane must left lane. Now, that's going to drive some people to extreme levels of anxiety. You know what I'm talking about? Let me tell you who this, like the extreme rule follower goes, what? What? Left lane? What does that mean? So here's what kills me about this, guys. You notice the bolts there? Joe, what do you think? You're my resident handyman. What do you think that sign weighs? That left lane must left lane. What do you think that weighs?
That has to weigh at least like 50 pounds. You
Yeah.
see the size of the bolts in that sucker?
That's what I'm saying. So look at that again. So whatever genius put that up That's not easy to do.
And it's there to stay.
Yeah, and so you have to drill those bolts in, Joe, right? That's I mean, we got to really work on that. And at no point did anybody question that. Here's the question for the control room. Did they notice it and they said, not my problem? All I was supposed to do is pick up the sign and attach it.
Absolutely.
Not my problem.
100%.
100%. That was where I was leaning. That's the consensus. But I must tell you, the lack of observation skills that most people have is truly stunning.
Now, I can see somebody. He's probably been on that job for 30 years, and he goes, if nobody caught it by now, I'm putting it up.
I think that's what happened. I think that's exactly what happened. All right, let's go to the next one. This is fantastic. This area, first of all, we got the warning sign. Look at this. This area is under 23-hour video and audio surveillance. Okay, I got questions. Is that a mistake? Or do they really are saying the video only works for 23 hours and there was a stickler and they went, well, we can't put 24-hour when it only works for 23. What do you think's going on here? What do you think? I don't know. I love to dive into these things. But there's your thing right there. Hey, warning, for 23 hours, this is under surveillance. But maybe it's a little sarcasm. Maybe they're jacking with the people that want to do something wrong and go, it's up to you, pal. You want to guess which hour it's not being surveilled or surveyed? I don't even know what word it is right now. I'm losing it.
Roll the video dice.
Yeah, all right. Let's go to the next one. Boy, this is, oh boy, over 10 billion severed. Wow, the McDonald's sign. By the way, these are always great. This is the person who, they got to hold that long pole, and that's probably cumbersome. Might be a little heavy. The amino acids get going a little bit, and they're not even doing a spell check. They're just so happy to get the last letter up there. Over 10 billion severed. Or this is an hourly employee who goes, I'm going to put this up there as a funny joke, and when they tell me that it's wrong, I just go, oh, I'm so sorry. I should have checked it. I tend to lean towards that, Nathan.
At least it's not a Wendy's.
Oh. Wow. Ouch. Very good. All right, let's go to the next one. Boy, this is, again, Joe, the very heavy sign. Please try to walk without walking. Now, what's that supposed to say? Any guesses? Anybody got that? Please try to walk without walking?
Running. Walk without running.
Ah, good, Joe.
Yeah.
Please try to walk without running. Nothing I can say there. We've already covered that. And then our last one. Here we go. And I think this has got to be a joke. This sign has been hacked. This is clearly a 14-year-old kid who was sitting in a massive traffic delay on the interstate with his mom. Mom's on the phone talking to her mom or her aunt or whatever, her girlfriend, and this kid figures out how to hack the road sign. And I like this. I'm going to say this I like. This is not, to me, I go, yeah, it's pretty good. If my kid tells me, hey, Dad, I just did that, I kind of go, really? How'd you do that? I'm not irritated by that because it's not rude. It's not obscene. So there you go. That's not a work fail. That is a systemic failure that a 14-year-old can hack a road sign. So there you go. Fun stuff. All right. My time is almost up. But before we let you go, remember this. You matter, and you do have what it takes. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.